we hope that all of us would have had was that aspect of mothering that was there for us in that way. So thank you for that. Also, I mean, Let It Be, like how cool is that song, and how did our band rock on that song? Wasn't that awesome? Yes, always. LB was reminding me that it was written by John Lennon as a tribute to his mother, Mary, who always said, "Let it be." So yeah, so that's pretty cool, huh? How's everybody doing today? Doing good. Yeah, you've been out enjoying this weather? Yes, yes, I hope so. I know we've been out planting and just taking advantage of this gorgeous weather. It's a wonderful time of year. I do want to say a happy to-be 80th birthday to Sue Fisher. Sue's, if you'll stand up back here, this week is her 80th birthday. So happy birthday. Woohoo! I'm always in awe of our 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds because they are always such an incredible inspiration. The way they live their life, how healthy they are, how moving forward. So have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. So anyway, good morning and happy Mother's Day to those of you who are mothers, who are grandmothers, who are like a mother. You might be a dad mom, mother figure, mother to a pet, adopted mother, foster mother, spiritual mother, mother-in-law. We do celebrate you and all the beauty and the love that you have brought into this world. Is there anybody here today who doesn't have a mother? Well, we do all have a mother, or we wouldn't be here, right? She may not be here living in this earth, but we all had a mother or have a mother, right? But what I also recognize is that we don't always have a mom. Not everybody has what they would call a mom. So I don't want to discount those of us who were blessed with having moms that were so incredible and wonderful in our lives, and I'm so grateful. In my life I had that, and I know many of you did. And at the same time, maybe you had an okay mother. Sometimes great, sometimes not so much. Maybe you had a really awful mother, and maybe you just didn't have any mother figure at all. But hopefully, as Jan Garrett so wonderfully put it, somewhere along the way, you had someone or a few people or some lucky circumstances that gave you the very best mother-type love, deep and supportive, wise and strong. Because I know that there are many just even here in our spiritual community that have had to separate from their mothers for various reasons, but I know that there's been a lot of love in this community to help kind of help to support that as they journey through that. And I want to acknowledge the mothers today who have experienced the loss of a child, especially in this last year, because I know that is there as well. So a few years back, I asked the question, what did some of your mothers say? So here were some of the things that mothers said. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Pass me my shoe so I can hit you. I'll knock you into the middle of next week. Okay, these are probably things that mothers said a long time ago because you'd be in trouble today for saying these things. I hope you have 10 kids just like you. How about this one? Wait till your father gets home. Somebody said she would talk to herself and say, well, you have to talk to an intelligent person once in a while. Oh, always wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. And for those of you who are not old enough to know, that was actually something our mothers said to us before we went out. No safety pins. Oh. And then there's the real advice that they gave us. In a whole lifetime, what does it really matter? And I like that advice. It's, sometimes we get so caught up in something in this moment, and really in the bigger picture, what does it really matter? Sleep on it. It would be much better in the morning. Just being happy is a fine thing to do. If you can't think of anything nice to say, we all know that one. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Keep your feet on the ground and your face toward the heavens. Bloom where you are planted, and things are just things. If kids break something, so what? What matters is not breaking them. So I think that's some really, really great advice. So I have to tell you that I started writing a talk on Monday. I usually spend Monday researching, reading, just kind of writing. And sometimes I just don't feel it. And but I'll try to push it because I'd really like to get my talk done if I can by Thursday. So I kind of wrote something. Then on Thursday, I actually took Wednesday, I think, off this week. So on Thursday, I sat down again and all I could think is I'm birthing this talk. I'm having birthing pains. I can't get this talk out, So I went back and I looked at some of my old talks, and I told Paul I'm just going to pull from some of my old talks. But still, it wasn't feeling like the right thing. It wasn't feeling like the right thing. And then the other day, my daughter told me that she and my grandson were coming to service this morning. And I was like, and I'm so excited, like, oh my gosh. And so I sat down yesterday and I wrote my entire talk. Because here's the thing, I have a soon-to-be 40-year-old son, a soon-to-be 45-year-old daughter. I called you guys out on your ages today. And they're here today, which I'm so excited about. And my grandson Declan is here today, Josh and Krista. Yes, it's an incredible blessing in my life here right now. And I've raised my kids with Unity principles, and I was thinking about the wisdom as a mother that I either gave them or I showed them or that I hoped that they learned. And so you're going to get some basic Unity wisdom from this mom today, because I thought if there's anything that I really want my kids to know about my journey and about what has changed my life, it's these Unity teachings. So I shared recently that when I walked through the doors of this ministry a little over 36 years ago, I sat in the back, that I knew I was home. Like I knew I was home. And I never looked back, ever. The teachings of Unity and the broader teachings that we branch out into, they resonated deeply with my soul. And I've only, been diving deeper as time goes on. And it's absolutely the understanding and the application of these principles that I learned here at Unity of Springfield that have changed my life for the better over and over and over again. And what I do know that as my kids sit here today, that they have witnessed how my life has changed for the better. They have witnessed me using my principles, and so they have seen firsthand how these principles work. And I know that today where I'm at in my life, my kids, they're actually pretty relieved where I'm at in my life today. but they see it, they know it. So the first thing that came for me is that, in imparting wisdom to my kids, imparting wisdom to all of us and reminding us is that, guess what? Life happens. Did you know that? Life happens. Life happens, and what I mean by that is that life is an array of the highest highs and the lowest lows and all of the in-betweens, right? So, of course, we enjoy the highest of highs, don't we? Do you remember your first kiss? Do you remember your first love? Do you remember graduating? Do you remember? My grandson's going, I haven't had those things yet. No. You're going to love it. You remember your first job. You remember when you were going to get married. You remember maybe when you were going to have babies, or you remember your first car or your first home, and you remember these highest of highs, and they were amazing, weren't they? And they continue to be, things that we like to live in that place, don't we? We like to live where it feels good, right? Yes? We don't like so much to live in the other place, do we? Or even to experience the other place, but loss happens. Loss of loved ones, loss of a job, loss of a relationship, loss of a dream, loss of health. And we might feel that either someone or life itself has betrayed us somehow. And we may feel victimized by someone, or we may feel just kind of betrayed again by life. But in reality, and here's the thing that is important for me to share, is that all things can be used for the greater good. Now, I want to make sure that we're here, what I'm saying here, and you may not agree with this, and that's okay. This is what I love about Unity. I am not saying that everything that happens is good, because I cannot sit here and say that the atrocities that happen to people, that those are good things, and I would never say that to somebody. I would never say that if somebody has had a person that's a loved one of theirs murdered, I'm not going to say, well, that was a good thing. And here's the reason why. Because we have been created with free will. And so we get to use this power whichever way we want. And so the thing itself may not have been good. But here's what I absolutely know, that it can be used for the greater good. And I base this on a scripture, Genesis 50:20. It says, what man intends for evil, God intends for good. And so I want to say, whenever things happen in our lives that feel like our lives are falling apart or something awful has happened to us, that feel the feelings that you need to feel. I always say that. Feel the grief, feel the sadness, feel the anger, feel whatever is there for you to feel. Get help if you can do that. I'm not saying to deny that it happened, but what I am saying is don't let it have the power to define your life in a way that is not what you truly desire to be experiencing in your life. Don't let it have the power to keep you as a victim and not embracing the life that you have left to live on this planet, because it's not worth it. And I cannot say here, because I know from my years of experience in ministry that there have been some just crazy things that have happened to people throughout the years. And so I can't tell you what that journey is to get you totally to here, but I am going to advise that if you are in the midst of that, seek help. Whether it's professional help, whether it's coming here and getting that help, but seek that help so that you can move to the other side of this. When we are open to that spiritual guidance that is always here for us, and this is the thing that I would want my kids to know, probably more than anything, is that you're never alone. That there is this that we call God. We can't define what that is, but we have felt it, haven't we? We have felt that presence. We have felt that nudging. We have felt the ideas that come into our head that are like, where'd that idea come from? Something that kept us safe in a particular situation. We are never alone. And we always have that opportunity to tune into and to turn inward to that spiritual guidance. And here's the thing about it. When we are willing simply to open ourselves up and surrender to it, amazing healing can and will take place, and you will be guided from that place of victim consciousness into the place of empowerment. Do we want to live in victim consciousness? No, it doesn't feel good, does it? Or do we want to live empowered? We want to live empowered, right? So the next thing, that leads right into the next thing that I would want my kids to know, and that is that you are powerful co-creators of your life experience, and with that which we call God. Call it whatever you want: love, source, Holy Spirit, divine intelligence, whatever this is, we are co-creating with this. Ernest Holmes, in his book, This Thing Called You, says, in some way which you know not of, through some process which never reveals its face, life has entered into you, and with it, the irresistible impulse to create. It's that irresistible impulse that's within us. We have come forth as a creative expression out of this divine intelligence of which we were created. In other words, we are one with it. There can never be a separation, right? And as that, we have come forth with this ability to create. Because here's the thing, whatever this intelligence is, it has given you, above all other creatures on this planet, a thinking mind, an imagination, free will, which means you have choice as to what you're going to choose, intelligence, and the ability to create. Let's just look at the last 100 years. Wow. It was this gift of creative energy that is always moving through humankind that brought into expression all that has been created in this manifest realm. And know this, the creative energy is formless substance which responds to and is shaped and formed and molded by the impressions that we give it, that we put upon it. So let's look back at those days for a moment. Let's look at how people got from point A to point B on a horse. No matter how far they had to travel, no matter what the weather conditions, their ability to get from point A to point B. Now tell me how you're going to feel at the end of that. Now maybe I don't ride a horse, so I probably didn't really, I guess maybe you could do it smoother, but can you imagine? Like that's what's happening. So, but so you know that these deep desires were happening to have better travel, right? And so what happens, and this creative intelligence does what? It responds to the deepest yearnings of the soul. That's what it does through the gift of ideas. And so what happens is that humankind starts to have ideas about how to create something different. And with this gift of intelligence, they created the wheel. And now here we are, how many years later, and we're not even on wheels, we're in the sky. And we're flying places that would have taken them months to get in hours, in just hours. My point in saying this is that you all have these same gifts, and whether you are aware of it or not, you are co-creating your life. And if you are not happy in some area in your life, what needs to change? Yes, you, your thoughts, your beliefs about what is possible for you, your focus. How? So tell those beliefs that are keeping you small to what? To get behind you. From these beliefs that are keeping you from living the life that you truly desire. You all know, and this is one of the scriptures that you guys may not know, but that I love so much, and it's when Jesus is out and he's being tempted by quote-unquote Satan. In Unity, we see Satan, and this is my own words, but his crazy error thinking that appears to have become manifest and is something against me, but it's not real. It's only in our minds. But the scripture is where Jesus goes out and he's tempted by Satan. And what does he do? He tells Satan, get behind me because you have no power over me. Error thinking, get behind me. I am not going to give you my attention. And if I don't give you my attention, it can't stay alive, right? Evil is like a parasite. It only stays alive because the parent is feeding it. So if I'm not feeding those error thoughts, they can't stay alive in my experience. So beliefs of not enoughness, get behind me because I'm no longer going to feed you my creative energy. So beliefs like this, not good enough, not smart enough, not educated enough, not whatever enough. What are some things that you have felt in your life that you were not enough? Skinny enough. Rich enough. Educated enough. It's all about you, Karen. But you know what I mean. So we've all had these beliefs, get behind me. And because this is what I know about myself, and I'm going to invite you to say these with me. I am enough. I am good enough. I am strong enough. I am smart enough. I am motivated enough. I am loved enough. I am enough. Okay, so I am enough. I am enough. And this is why I like to put emphasis on different words. I am enough. Like taking that I and taking that I, just as I am right here, right now. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. But take this and use it and make it part of your daily mantra. Thoughts of lack. Get behind me. Lack of money, lack of time, lack of energy, lack of creativity, lack of health, lack of whatever. And if you'd like to say this with me, there is more than enough. I am abundance. I am creativity. I am life and health. I have more than enough time. I am motivated. And guess what? The next step is action. It is not enough to know the truth. We must live the truth that we know. We're going to do this two ways. The first one is doing exactly what we've just been doing. We must do the daily work that is ours to do. Sometimes the hourly work to shift our consciousness, right? When we're really trying to shift out of some old way of being, we've got to be on top of it. And that's another one of my favorite scriptures is, wake up, O sleeper, and rise, that the Christ may shine the light on your path. Wake up and rise above those things that are keeping you small and keeping you down and keeping you from living the life that you want to live. Wake up and tell them to get behind you and rise up to that higher consciousness. And the cool thing is, and it happens every time, you will be guided. The light will be there. The next step and the next step and the next step will be there. And that's where we go to the other aspect of action, is take action on the things that you are being guided towards. Trust it. Here's the thing that I can tell you 100%. You can never get it wrong. You can never get it wrong. Because life is just feedback. That's all it is. You can choose to look at things that happen in your life as failures and, oh, this is the worst thing that ever happened. Oh, and that's going to keep me down here. And it's okay to feel it. But we don't want to live there. The reality is, when you move to a place of saying, wow, okay, wow, that was some tough feedback. That kind of sucked. That kind of hurt. Now, what am I going to turn towards? What am I now going to step into? You can never get it wrong. Because guess what? There's not only one opportunity. Let that thing go. Opportunity only knocks once. Who the heck said that? We live in a universe of infinite possibilities and potentialities. Infinite possibilities and potentialities. We haven't even begun to tap into all of the possibilities and potentialities that exist for us in our lives. There are many paths that will give you many wonderful experiences in your life. So the second aspect of action is do the things that we know to do to create the conditions for our life to express as we truly desire. If we want to get healthier, research things that are going to get you healthier and then do them. You know, if getting healthier is, I need to change my eating habits, and that's what you're guided to, do it. If it's, I need to move my body more, then do it. But do the things that you're guided to. If you want a greater flow of abundance in your life, read about prosperity principles. Take a prosperity class. We have our class coming up with Amy Burnett. I think we have like at least 14 people signed up for that. I'm so excited about that. You know, learn about prosperity principles. If we want more loving relationships in our lives, we need to start looking at, where am I maybe not allowing that love? Where have I closed myself off? Or go be around people who are like-minded and introduce yourself to new people. If we want to be better at something, whatever it is, do the work to be better. Practice, 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 right? John, did you get to the point of doing what you do by not practicing? No. You guys practice all the time. We practice, practice, practice. And here's the thing too, and probably a thing that I would want to say to my grandson is, you don't have to be the best. You only have to do your best and have fun, because life isn't meant to be filled with stress and pain and angst. Life is meant to be enjoyed. And go out there and go out into the world and find the things that you love to do and just have the best time doing those things. And then the last thing that I would say to my kids, which is nothing new to them, is that I have shared with y'all before, that I raise my kids with 2 words. Be love. I said to them from the time they were little, they're cracking up here because I would just... Thousands. They would get like kind of, not nice to each other and just be like, be love, just be love, just be love, just be love. And I have, from my perspective, they took it in, and they were never allowed to use the word hate in my presence. Now, I can't say that they never did it, but because there's a lot of things I learned about my kids after they were grown adults that I had no idea about, and I'm really grateful that I was that naive that I didn't know all the things that my kids did when I didn't know they were doing it. So, but here's what I can tell you is that my kids truly have turned into such incredibly loving individuals. I mean, they got it. They got the be loved thing. Kind of had no choice because of the thousands of times, as Josh said, that I used it. But to me, our greatest life is lived when we live it with the idea of just being in service to love. And to love is to be in service. To be in service is to be giving of ourselves. So here are some of the things. To love is to be in service to giving kindness. Find ways to be kind, to have a kinder and more gentler presence with the people around us. Are we finding that is working for us? When we're out places and we're just kind and we're connected to people and we take a moment just to be present. To love is to be in service to giving compassion, to making sure that we're present to those who are going through tough times, and that we're listening, and that we're just being present to whatever their needs are at that moment. It's to be in service to giving inclusivity. Don't make people who do not look like you and who do not act like you wrong or bad. Get to know people. You will be amazed at what you find out when you start talking to someone who is different than you and get to know them. Be in service to giving generosity. You can never outgive God. You can never outgive the universe. Be in service to giving hope. Being the one to bring that little candlelight into somebody's darkness. Be in service to oneness, and that is being present to the ones that are with you, putting the phones down. And then being present to truth. And giving truth. Love is being willing to tell the truth, even when it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to tell the truth, isn't it? It's the greatest gift that we can give. And I believe that giving of your time, talent, and treasure to a person or to an organization that you want to see grow, expand, and thrive will bless your life totally. I have loved watching in our ministry the people who have stepped up and they are giving of their time, talent, and treasure to create social opportunities for people to come together. And the relationships that are being created are amazing. You cannot help but be blessed, right, when you yourself are giving. So find more ways to bring happiness and joy and laughter into your daily life. Listen to positive, uplifting things. There's free podcasts all around. Listen to those things. Watch more comedies than dramas. I can be in a funk and I can get shifted by the music that I listen to. Play, dance, create, sing, do some of those things just to get outside of yourself. Learn something new. You don't have to be the best. Again, you just have to do your best and have fun. So in closing, you are a powerful co-creator in your life. God is for you. And this that we call God is always here supporting you. The song, You Can Do Hard Things, you can do hard things because you have always this loving support of this divine intelligence. You are loved beyond what you can ever imagine, and that will never change for any of us, no matter what we've ever thought, said, or done, no matter what we will ever think, say, or do, that will never change the love that is surrounding us and that is guiding us. And so I want to close with these words, and I want to dedicate this to my kids today. Janice Sandfield's song, I Wish You Strength. I wish you strength to rise unafraid like the morning sun taking on the day, because when you shine, you light up the place. So I wish you strength. And I wish you faith that you'll overcome whatever you face until your journey's done. Beyond any words and certain as grace, I wish you faith. But I wish that you could see the you that I see. There at the edge of possibility, I pray that you will find all that you need. And I wish you peace that comes from within, the gentle release of all that might have been, like the stillness that waits between waking and sleep. I wish you peace. thank you guys for being here today, for blessing me in this way. Not that you guys had a choice, but thank you for allowing me this opportunity to give this message to my children. But I really think it's a powerful unity message for all of us today. And so happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. And I say to you, namaste, namaste. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I don't like to have to write my talks on Saturday because it's a little stressful, but so this is our opportunity in our service to be in support of financially supporting the ministry, supporting what it is that we are here to be and to do and to create together. So you can give through Tithely, Venmo, PayPal, on our website, cash or check. So I invite us to take our gifts in our hands, or the energy of our gifts, and bless them together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And thank you, God.
What a beautiful song. That just touched your heart. Good morning to everybody that's sitting out here. We're glad to see you. And good morning to everyone that's watching us online. We're so happy that you are with us. And if anyone is present here for the first time, or perhaps watching our live stream the first time, we have a packet of information that Mary back there would be happy to share with you after the service, and she has a coffee mug to give you. And if you watch online, you can come by the church during the week and we'll give you your coffee mug and packet. Please pull your cell phones out. Tell everybody that you're right here praying for them. And then if you please would mute your phone or turn it completely off. I want to thank Kat Bell and Reverend Pat McClellan for their vision of a celebratory dinner for Women of Unity. Thank you, Bobby, for offering to set up a photo backdrop and for your expertise as a photographer. Thank you, John Russ and Michelle Van Hoos, for the entertainment. Thank you to Kat and her fabulous planning and execution this year, and to all who volunteered to plan, decorate, serve, clean up. Please stand, those that volunteered. Thank you. And will all who came to the event and had such a delightful evening, please stand. And Betty Pittman, wave your hands, Betty. Betty won the hat contest. She had sparkles on her hat. I want to give a shout out to Bonnie and Celeste that came to be our speakers. They were just delightful. People like you meet and you feel like you've known them forever. That's the kind of people they are. And LB wanted me to say that there are hats left over. If you donated some hats, there's a few left over in Fellowship Hall. And if you don't get them, they're going into the women's boutique on Friday night, and they will be gone forever. Please join me in the mission statement together. Our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. Let's speak together the affirmation for today's daily word. Together, I am a gracious giver and receiver of motherly love. Today I celebrate mothers everywhere, biological mothers, adoptive mothers, and my mother. Women who are trailblazers, caregivers, mentors, and mothers to the masses. I celebrate Mother Nature in all her glory and the divine feminine as part of me. Motherly spiritual qualities contribute to peace, healing, and joy in the world and in my life. I take a moment to reflect on a time when I comforted a child. Perhaps I listened, hugged, or shared encouraging words. I call to mind memories of when I felt nurtured, held, or lifted up by someone else. The act of mothering is so important. I am grateful for the feminine spiritual qualities enriching my life and the lives of family and friends. The scripture for today is Genesis 17:16. If you'll join me. I will bless her, and she will give rise to all nations. And please, let's join together again and repeat the affirmation. I am a gracious giver and receiver of motherly love. As Sue rings the prayer bowl, please hold the following people in your prayerful thoughts: Jim, G, John and Amy, Beth, Steve, Susan, Darren, Julian, Deborah, Judy, Quinn, Sue, Pat, Carolyn, Sean, Sharon, Kristen and babies, and anyone else who comes to mind. And please hold in your heart, Linda Hilton lost one of her beloved pets, her cat, this week, who was Fred. Let's sing together our thoughts or prayers.
Thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
The prayer bowl sends out sounds attuned to our heart chakra. Picture the doors of your heart open wide and sending out love. Feel the vibrations of the prayer bowl sending energy to awaken your awareness of the Christ presence within you. Inhale deeply, hold, and exhale. Let us begin to relax in preparation for a peaceful prayer and meditation. Focus your attention on the crown of your head, relaxing as you follow down to your forehead, your eyes and ears, your lips, tongue, and jaw. To release tension or tightness in your neck and shoulders, physically roll them, release that tension. Follow your relaxation as it flows down your arms, past your elbows, through your wrists, hands, and fingers. See relaxation taking place throughout your body as it moves down the spine and lower back. Relax your thighs, your knees, and calves, your ankles, feet, and toes. Take another deep breath. Hold and exhale. We pray for the highest and best, for all of us present in the sanctuary, and for our online community, and all who have been placed on the prayer list. For everyone, we affirm healing of mind, body, and spirit, guidance to make right decisions, comfort and support for anything unpleasant we may experience, appreciation for all experiences, knowing there is a lesson in our favor, peace that surpasses all understanding, and love that nurtures, protects, and assures us of our worthiness. For everyone on earth, we affirm respect with no judgments, health and wellness, safety and security, a flow of abundance in every area of all lives, loving relationships, first with oneself and with your family and friends, inner peace and spiritual connection. We send out blessings, embracing our spiritual community, our city, our state and country, all nations, that the human spirit is respected, inclusivity without judgment is assured, attention to care for the environment is practiced by all. We visualize peace in our country, in all countries, and all governments, true peace on earth. We are so blessed, and we share with those near and far the warm, inclusive, welcoming, loving energy that we feel here in our spiritual community. Today is Mother's Day, a day to celebrate the divine feminine. Many of us have children and grandchildren, and many do not. Today we honor all who have loved and nurtured the next generations. We do not limit the honor to only women, as many men love and nurture also. While we rest in the silence, you choose who you honor, a mother or mother figure in your life, yourself as you have loved and nurtured babies, children, and teens. This day, we bless the feminine, spiritual qualities in the silence.
Bing.